Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYNT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. As the COVID-19 death toll in the United States climbs above 82,000, a leading expert is sounding the alarm on the danger of rushing to restart the economy. CBS's Nancy Chen reports from New York.
With more states moving to reopen their economies, the nation's top infectious disease expert warned of the risks of going too fast.
My concern is that we will start to see little spikes that might turn into outbreaks.
Dr. Anthony Fauci and other federal health officials testified remotely before a Senate committee on Tuesday. Fauci said many states that have started to lift their pandemic restrictions have yet to meet the White House's criteria for doing so.
I think we're going in the right direction, but the right direction does not mean we have by any means total control of this outbreak.
Fauci said more COVID-19 cases are inevitable as more people return to work. As unemployment soars, state governments are trying to strike a balance between protecting public health and reviving the economy. California Governor Gavin Newsom says allowing businesses to reopen is only part of it.
One of the biggest mistakes we can make in this pandemic as we start to move into a reopening phase is somehow overpromise what it means. None of this means anything if customers don't feel safe.
Washington State is where the first U.S. coronavirus infection was detected. It's about to launch a large-scale contact tracing program to track the disease.
This virus doesn't have any legs. It can't travel without us. And so that if we limit our movement and our exposure, we cut it right off.
Nearly 1,300 workers in Washington State have been trained to keep tabs on the outbreak. Their job will be to notify people who have been exposed to someone who tests positive for the virus. Nancy Chen, CBS News, New York.
Cal State, the nation's largest four-year public university system, on Tuesday announced that its classes would continue to be conducted online through the fall. Back here in Kentucky, Governor Andy Beshear announced 191 new cases of COVID-19 in the Commonwealth today. Health officials also confirmed 10 new deaths. So far, at least 6,853 Kentuckians have contracted the virus. The death toll is now 321. 2,546 of those people have recovered. A second Kentucky child is being treated for a mysterious illness related to COVID-19. The governor says the 16-year-old is in the hospital as a precaution. Yesterday, we learned a 10-year-old boy was on a ventilator. The governor says that child is showing signs of improvement. Doctors are still trying to learn about what's being called pediatric multi-system inflammatory syndrome. Dr. Stephen Stack addressed the concern today.
A lot of these children are not presenting with respiratory infection symptoms. Some of them may have abdominal pain, or some of them may have more generalized symptoms, but not necessarily the respiratory symptoms that we're seeing in the adults. Quite a few of them apparently are testing negative for the nose test, but they test positive for antibodies, which is one of the oddities about this disease. It appears to cause an inflammation process after you've recovered from the initial infection.
Doctors say parents should look for symptoms like a prolonged high fever, abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, or a change in skin color. Experts say the illness can resemble Kawasaki syndrome.
Well, it's been a pretty nice day in the mountains. We saw that mixture of sun and clouds throughout the day, but heading into tonight, we are going to see more clouds as clouds and rain chances return back to the mountains for your Wednesday. Take you up to that UVA WISE camera, though, where we can see that mixture of sun and clouds and that sun setting over there as that cloud cover looked to become a little bit thicker as that sun set earlier today. US 119 in Pine Mountain showing really much of the same story, that mixture of sun and clouds earlier, and then that sun setting. Now, looking at those temperatures now, not too bad, into about the upper 40s to lower 50s. But we are going to see those temperatures drop a little bit into tonight, but not dropping as much as they have been the past few nights. So we'll continue to see those clouds increase. Temperatures look to drop into about the low to mid 40s. Few scattered showers, those start to return by the morning hours and really continue on and off heading into tomorrow. So you'll need that rain gear if you are headed out. But Thursday and Friday, we start to warm up. We'll bring back a few stray rain chances, but it'll start to feel like spring and maybe even like summer heading into the end of the week and into the weekend. And I'll have those details coming up in a little bit.
All right, thank you, Paige. Meat and poultry are just a couple of items that might get a little harder to find during this pandemic. Restaurants are taking certain items off their menu, and some grocery stores have empty shelves or restrictions on how many items you can purchase. C&P Butcher Shop in London still has meat on their shelves. With new safety guidelines in place, owner Tony Thorpe says he is trying to continue to feed everyone.
We've put these lines out here that the yellow is proceed with caution, red is give your neighbor some social distancing, greens go back to safety to your vehicle.
The shop is only operating through curbside pickup. Thorpe says as he continues to serve up meat, he sees the next 4 to 6 weeks getting tougher. Stage Stores, which owns the Peebles, Goodies, and Gordman's department store chains, joined those filing for bankruptcy protection this week. The company said it is searching for a buyer but plans to begin liquidating its stores as early as Friday. The retailer owns 738 stores in small towns and rural areas in 42 states. Now, we've pointed out some of the locations in our area on this map. Not long before the pandemic hit, several new Gordman stores opened across eastern Kentucky. There are reports JCPenney could also file for bankruptcy soon, and analysts fear others will follow. Because of the pandemic, Steak 'n Shake is poised to close dozens of restaurants. The chain's parent company announced Monday 57 of its locations will close permanently. As of now, it is unclear which ones will close or if any will be in our area. Steak 'n Shake started 2020 with 553 restaurants. Last year it had 624, and again, a few of those are in eastern Kentucky. Graduating college seniors face an uncertain job market. The pandemic has pushed unemployment to nearly 15%. It's the worst the country has seen since the Great Depression. Hiring experts say seniors should look at industries that are still hiring, including supply and production. One soon-to-be Eastern Kentucky University graduate says she is keeping her options open.
Told your whole life that getting a college degree means or assures that you're going to get a job after college. You know, you're told that it makes you different, that it makes you stand out, that you're going to make more money than others.
Emily there is a former WYMT intern. At UK's Career Center, they've been busier reaching out to students. They are offering virtual meetings to students who need help. The first day of COVID-19 testing wrapped up this evening at the Corbin Arena. This testing is through Kroger with their partnership with the state. Testing will continue tomorrow and Thursday, and they can test 400 people each day. WYMT's Emily Bennett takes us through what to expect during those tests.
This COVID-19 testing is a little different than other clinics.
They gave me through the window some information, like a little pamphlet, and then they led me to the next tent.
Corbin Mayor Susie Rasmus was one of the hundreds tested Tuesday at the Corbin Arena.
I'd never had a flu test before in my life. I've never stuck anything up my nose like that before, and I was really nervous about it. I really was.
The tests at Kroger sites are self-administered.
The nurse was right at the window talking me through exactly how far to go, a little bit further.
Doing the swab on yourself and then giving back the test.
Seal the vial, hand it through the window, roll your window up, and I was back down the hill in less than 15 minutes.
Whitley County health officials say part of the decision for people to swab themselves was because of the amount of personal protection equipment it takes.
I know it's something that Kroger's worked hard with the state and their partnership to make sure that they're, giving people really good instructions about how to do it correctly.
But Rasmus says it was simple.
It really wasn't. It wasn't bad at all.
Encouraging people to be tested to have more information about the virus in the region.
I think that that will help our governor feel more confident about opening back up.
Staying hopeful, this will soon just all be a bad dream. In Corbin, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
Testing will begin again tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Most of the appointments today were filled, but there are still hundreds available tomorrow and Thursday at last check. Floyd County has reopened its public parks to help ease the anxiety of the pandemic. Judge Executive Robbie Williams says he believes the parks will benefit people who have been stuck at home, providing a chance to get some fresh air and a change of scenery as the pandemic continues. But he says the decision to open the parks does not mean the county wants mass gatherings to begin.
We don't want folks going out to the parks and having birthday parties, inviting 20, 30 family members, things of that nature. This is just an opportunity for people to get out and walk, let the kids play a little bit and get out and enjoy the weather.
Williams says people should still maintain their distance and consider bringing their own disinfectants as an extra measure if they plan to use the playground equipment. For the past 6 decades, God's Pantry Food Bank has helped feed families in central and eastern Kentucky. And on this Kentucky Gives Day, they are thankful for donations and support as well as partnerships with other companies. WYMT has teamed up with God's Pantry Food Bank along with Kentucky Power and Appalachian Wireless to help fight the hunger need through a virtual food drive. Officials say the need for these partnerships and donations is greater than ever.
Companies are realizing that many of the folks that we serve on a daily basis, and in particular, I think during this pandemic, many of the people that we're serving are people who work in some of these companies.
Griffin says on average around 250,000 central and eastern Kentuckians do not know when or where their next meal will come from. Now, we have a link that makes it very easy to donate on our website. Coming up at 11, a young child and adult shot dead in southern Kentucky. We'll bring you the latest on the investigation as troopers try to piece together what happened. And we'll check up on a local marina operator still cleaning up 1 month after strong winds tore her business apart.
Gloomy weather returns heading into tomorrow, but it won't stick around long. I'll have the rest of that forecast coming up.